This morning, a gunman killed at least 15 people at a school in Russia, 11 of them children. Investigators believe the suspect may have been inspired by a deadly U.S. school shooting. Tina Kraus has more.
Students ran as medics rushed to help the injured outside a school in Russia where a gunman opened fire. Russian authorities say the suspect, a former student, killed many children before turning the gun on himself. The attacker died by suicide, this investigator says. He was wearing a mask and a T-shirt with Nazi symbols when he started shooting inside a classroom. Russia's investigative committee released video of the aftermath, including evidence they say references the Columbine massacre in the U.S. Images from the scene show pistols with keychains attached with the names Eric and Dylan and the word Columbine. Another photo shows cartridges of ammunition piled on a classroom desk with the word hatred written in Russian. Compared to the U.S., school shootings are rare in Europe and other parts of the world. This is Russia's second in 2 years. President Vladimir Putin denounced the shooting as an inhuman terrorist attack, adding that the 34-year-old shooter apparently belonged to a neo-Nazi group. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
The school where the shooting unfolded is about 600 miles east of Moscow and teaches children in grades 1 through 11. Well, Canada is getting rid of pandemic-related border restrictions that have been in place for 2.5 years. Canadian officials said today that they're removing all COVID-19 travel restrictions starting on October 1st. That's this Saturday. That includes testing, quarantine, and isolation requirements for people entering Canada. Travelers will also no longer be required to undergo health checks or wear masks for travel on planes or trains.